Welcome to the Razor and Whiskey Podcast. Yet again, I am Eric Suarez, the owner of Razor and Whiskey Barbershop and the owner of Razor and Whiskey Podcast. Here today we have a special guest, and this guest is special to me not only because he's a really good friend of ours, but he's been a longtime client since 17 or 18, and he's been coming ever since. He's been supporting like no other, and he's the shit. This is Sean Hewitt, the volleyball head coach for Texas State.
Thank you for having me. I'm
yes,
excited to be here.
I'm excited as well, man.
Cheers.
A little White Claw action.
Yes, sir. Oh, hold on. Man down. Man down.
Man down.
First time drinker here, everyone. So.
All right. Well, we're here today with Sean Hewitt, and we're gonna talk a little bit about him, where he came from, and we're just trying to shine a light on Texas State volleyball and everything they're trying to accomplish, everything they have accomplished during the years. And he is one of the most decorated coaches at Texas State. So
thank you. Yeah, I should have worn my new ring. I didn't even think about it. We just got our new rings in. It was pretty awesome. So
that is dope. That's a good feeling though.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's a ring. What? 10?
Number 9.
Number 9.
It's 9. Yeah. So one more to get the full bling on. So
that's awesome. So you have 9 of those big ass rings.
9. Some of them aren't that big. Like my old boss, she didn't love those big gaudy ones. So the last couple we got her to go, and then this one's by far the biggest.
This one's pretty
flex. Awesome. It's a big flex. 3 in a row, you got to have a big flex. So when we get that 4th in a row, it's only going to get bigger.
Back, you know? That's
the plan. We'll see.
Yeah. So, quick question.
Yes.
Why San Marcos, Texas, and how did you get here?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. 2006, the summer 2006 is when I did my interview here, and I had been at Indiana State for a little bit and Bowling Green in Ohio. I'm born and raised in the Midwest, and so I came on my interview. I kind of fell in love with college town, the college atmosphere. I was used to that from Bowling Green. I went to a smaller school that was just like everything was built around the university, and so I kind of felt some similarities here with that. Loved being close to Austin and San Antonio, and that vibe. But I thought in 2006 it was going to be this small stepping stone kind of job. They were good at volleyball. They had won a championship the last, 2003 and 5. And so I was like, oh, cool, let's go there, win a championship or 2, and put that on my resume. And 15 years later, here I am as the head coach, and 14, I haven't gone anywhere.
14 of those were as an assistant.
Yeah, so I was the assistant for 14 years. Nuts. I know at one point, so my old boss had been here for 40 years.
Damn.
The other, my other coworker had been here for 18 years, and I had been here for 14. We were the most tenured staff in the NCAA. So it's
congrats to you all.
Yeah, it was. Awesome. Thank you. It was awesome, and it was what Texas State has been doing, what San Marcos as a community has been doing. We got to kind of get the best of both worlds, where we got to have high level volleyball, but also be in a place that we love to live, and so it's been awesome,
and it's been growing. It's literally a mini Austin.
Yeah, I just talked to a recruit the other day, and that was one of the things I said. I was like, it's a college town, but what's going on here, and the building everywhere, and the restaurants and everything they're doing it's needed, because that's what there's times I'm like, oh, I miss old San Marcos when you could do some of that, but it's definitely needed, and it's been awesome to see how the community has kind of developed as I've been here.
Yeah, and also too, it brings high level recruits as well.
For sure.
Because now we got penthouses next door.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
some of my kids live in places that I'm like, This one funny story. One of the players was like, "How am I going to tell my kids that I'm living in somewhere nicer than they're ever going to live? Because it's granite countertops, cement floors, and doing all that. But it's what was needed to make the jump for Texas State and the community.
The community really needed this to. I mean, a lot of locals don't really like the change, but it's very much needed.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has helped Texas State with what we're doing and where we're going athletically and as a university. Yeah, exactly.
And so, but one of my biggest things was, how did you stay for so long as an assistant? Like, most assistants that I could think of only assists for 3-4 years,
Yeah.
5 max, and then 5 is like, I need to get my own.
That was the plan. And then the plan just, I think a couple of reasons. One, I just, like I said, I loved where I lived. I love San Marcos.
Yeah.
I love being close to Austin, close to San Antonio, but living in a college town. I love how the community goes around Texas State and everything's about Texas State, and it just made you feel kind of like a home away from home for me. Like my whole family's in Ohio, and so it was just a great vibe for me. With where Texas State was, a lot of times as an assistant, you come and you kind of like work your way up, and you kind of, okay, I'm going to go to maybe a mid-major, do this, maybe another mid-major, however you're going to work your way up. And for me, Texas State, when I got here, we were a smaller Division I school. We were in the Southland, and Texas State started making a big commitment to athletics and to education. And
that's awesome.
The president wanted to make a jump in all areas. And so Texas State grew as I've been here. And so I've gotten to be a part of all that growth and kind of make the jump from a smaller Division I school to we're a top 30 mid-major right now, and doing things that we haven't been able to do before. And that's largely in part to all the commitment the athletic directors and our president have put into it. And so Texas State grew as I was here, and so I didn't have to go to the next biggest school or go there.
The school was growing. And
the school was growing. The athletic department was growing.
Because
everything was making jumps.
You could have probably not liked it anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, that would have been my next. I mean, I've never been like, I have to be in Power 5 or I have to do there, but I've always wanted to be at a level that I could be competing to get into the top 25 and doing that. And you have to have the support. You have to be a good mid-major to do that. And so now I think Texas State is that next big thing ready to happen. And so we're working really hard to make that happen.
And plus, it's hard to leave a winning team.
One of my friends, we talked a lot about, and they're like, I kept saying, I can't leave this class. I can't leave. They're like, there's always going to be a senior class or a sophomore class that you're just like, you can't leave. I can't leave. And so I get that. But like you say, in the 14 years I was the assistant, I think there was only 2, maybe 3 years we weren't playing for a championship. We didn't win them all the time, but we were playing for a championship. And that, it's fun to do. Like,
a solid team, though.
I'm uber competitive. I want to win as much as possible, and so it's been a fun process to watch Texas State grow.
Do you do the recruiting?
Yeah, as an assistant, the other assistant and I did a lot of the recruiting. Like I said, my old boss had been here for 40 years, so even when I started to get here, she was towards the end of her career, and so recruiting wasn't something she loved to do, and so the other assistant and I did a lot of that.
Shout out to the recruiting staff.
But so then that is, that was one of my big things with getting the job was I wanted to be the head coach that was more involved with that. I wanted to make sure, people know what we have here at Texas State and what we're going to do. We talked a lot about, like, our goal has always been to win the Sun Belt, and that's, we always want to win our conference, but we're starting kind of a new, we say same goals, new mission, because we want to be in the top 25. We want to make a run at the Sweet 16. And so the head coach being involved in all the recruiting and all aspects of everything is something that I've tried to put my stamp on. So
and I was just about to say, everybody that you have on the team is like top tier.
We have...
You have returning players that have been here for two years.
Like we have...
last year.
Junior/senior, kind of how it's been with the whole COVID thing. They all get their COVID year. And so we have a senior class, and then we have 2 fifth-year seniors that have been back that have played in the championship game every year of their career.
That's awesome.
Our senior class was a top 30 recruiting class for us. They were kids that visited a lot of Power 5s, had all those looks, but they wanted to come to Texas State and do something that we hadn't done. They wanted to be able to, win 4 championships. They want to go to the Sweet 16. They want to be in the top 25. So they all were able to come to Texas State and help us put our name on the map.
Well, also, too, the thing that I think changes the game here at Texas State is that this year or last year when you first came into the program, even when Jake got signed on, you guys were coming up and you guys are different type of coaches, and like I talked to you before, you guys are player coaches. You guys relate more to the player. You guys aren't hounding them like they're kids. You guys are treating them like adults, and they like that. They respect that, and they respond good to that.
No, I definitely agree. That has been, one of my mentors. Their biggest advice was, don't change who you are. Yeah. You got this job because of who you are, and if you go into this head coaching role and take it and run with all this power and big head, all that, it be who you are. My kids know that I'm Sean. I have them call me Sean. I don't think coach. I don't need that title. Like I want them to be able to come in my office and talk about everything. And I think sometimes when you say coach so and so, they're maybe not going to tell you everything that's going on, and they call you Sean. They feel more comfortable. But it's that fine line of being a player's coach and demanding. The good thing for me is we've had a championship culture forever. Our kids know how to work. They're not afraid to work. But we're seeing the benefits of that player type coach where our kids feel comfortable talking to us. And I hired 2 great assistants. Shout out to Keith, who hopefully is going to be watching.
That's our boy Keith.
He gets his haircut here too.
He does. But you've had a rough week. But
he has had a rough week.
We'll let you make it, my guy.
But I think that is where this generation needs. I hear a lot of people talk about like this generation is so different, is so this, and for me, it's they still work hard, they still do everything. They just maybe need to know why they're working hard. Maybe a little bit more explanation. And so,
are they considered Generation Z?
Mm-hmm. Gen Z,
right? That's crazy.
You got to get all that lingo. You got to be hip to the TikToks and all that. I did go viral on TikTok.
Viral on TikTok. Follow them on TikTok. What's your TikTok?
I feel Huiet 8. But it wasn't my TikTok that went viral. It was one of my players, but they made me be in it. And I was like, cool, let's do it.
And that's what I like about it, because what other coach does it? None.
Some do, but not many.
Yeah. And I see your personal TikToks at home, and I'm like, yeah, okay, he's still getting it. He's still getting it.
One of my players the other day was like, we haven't done a TikTok in a while, and I was like, yeah, you're right. I probably should get back on that.
That's funny. So let's talk to me about this season. I mean, we're a couple games in.
Yeah, we're 13 games in. Dang. Our non-conference is done. And it's been challenging. It's been fun in a way. It's been challenging in a way. We put together probably the toughest schedule we've had because we were returning everyone, because we were, talking about making this jump. But also we know getting into conference, winning 4 in a row is hard. We get everyone's best. We get everyone's best every night. And so we talked a lot about putting a schedule together to get us ready for that. Cut to dealing with injuries, dealing with all the stuff that comes with athletics. And so, our record doesn't show the jump that we've made, and so we played without 2 starters, sometimes 3 starters. But the thing that's been fun is that some young kids are getting to play, some other kids are getting to play different positions and figure some things out, which again only helps us down the road. We ended this weekend on a good note with a couple wins. Had a really good win versus UTEP, who has beaten 2 Power 5s. They were 8-1. We beat them 3-0 pretty handily. So it was good for our kids' confidence, but they know what we did in the non-conference will really help us down the road. So
and that's what I was about to say. Those younger players getting those reps in, is giving them playtime confidence.
Yeah, no, definitely. It will definitely help. Because like I said, Emily DeWalt, who is our 3-time All-American Setter of the Year, she's day-to-day right now. We're not sure what's going to happen. And so the other kid stepping in, Ryan Torres, nope, she is day-to-day. So we will not know what she's going to do. So she might not even
make it to Troy, though.
It's going to be
beer 30.
A little bit of that. But no, but it was good for Ryan, our other setter, to get a lot of experience and game experience. And like I said, it only helps us down the road.
Yeah. How are the 2 what positions are they? Janelle and the other girl?
Jada.
Good.
Well, it's been...
How are they setting you?
Good. Sorry. It's been good. I will say our plan was to move Jada to the outside, but she's been really good on the right side.
Because they were going to do 2.
They were going to be kind of opposite each other, and so they could go. But with Emily being hurt, we kind of went into a 6-2 a little bit. We had a kid who hasn't set since her freshman year. We're like, hey, you need you to set. Up. And so, she's a 5th-year senior. She'll do whatever. And so she got to do that. So then we had Jada and Janelle. One of them was in the front row at all times, which was nice. I talked a lot with Janelle and even some of our kids with, if they feel pressure. Janelle was preseason Sunbelt Offensive Player of the Year. Our team was picked to win it again. And so there's been some times where we've been like, oh, is the mental side of this, are they feeling this pressure? Are they starting to feel, is it just the schedule kind of being hard, or is it because some of the injuries? Yeah. Because even Janelle hasn't been her typical self yet. And so we're excited to start conference and get them back going a little bit. Yeah. And again, because in conference we're playing all the teams we know, all the teams that they get fired up to. We're good. We're ready.
That's awesome.
I'm ready.
we're ready too. But other than that, man, how's your team like mentally? Like,
yeah, we're good. I mean, I was on a call with the radio show today, and for some reason they always keep asking like, how's it in the locker room or what's this? And I'm like, we don't want to be 4-9. We don't. Losing is not something we want to do. No one walks in and was like, yay, we lost, but we're not being negative about it. We're not turning and pointing fingers. We're taking accountability. We're
on to the next one.
Talking about how we have gotten better every match, even though the record doesn't say it. We've done a lot of different things, and we're ready for anything that's thrown at us. So, it's obviously, like I said, no one likes to lose, and it's not like all hunky-dory all the time, but those are the things that you see leaders step up and people step up and do things and control things that help you later in the season.
How's it been in the stadium though? Like,
good. We've had some awesome crowds. I will say our first match was an 11 a.m. match, so it was good, but it wasn't. But then that night when we played Miami, we had about 700, 800 people, and then
Miami?
No, we played here. That was our first home night match. And then when we played A&M, we had close to 1,000 people. And so the crowds have been great. Yeah. We need more fans in there. So San Marcos, people that are listening. But
what's y'all's? I know football is packed the whack.
See you in Strahan. That's what I always say. See you in Strahan. But we have some good. We play Coastal at home. We play Arkansas State, UTA. We have some of the top in our conference coming here. So we'll definitely need the community behind us to help us.
And UT's not in those?
No, we played Texas at Texas. Then we played A&M here, which was, like I said, it was a big crowd.
Was the UT game just kind of like the Baylor game for football, or?
Whereas in
like it's a really big team that comes out and play a small team, or was it?
I mean, we were competitive. We were competitive probably till the third set. We did some things, but Texas is number 1 in the country, and so they're at another level right now. And like that's what I told the kids. Like our goal is not right now to be where Texas is. Like that's not. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and be able to do it, but we needed to challenge them and get ready to do some things to make that jump into the top 25. And so seeing that level, it only helps you.
Yeah, for sure. We also need everybody in San Marcos to come out and support for every single game. I know COVID has been really hard on the athletes, on the coaches, not only because when they play for something bigger than themselves. They play for a crowd, and the crowd really, takes a toll on the players mentally. It helps them. It fires them up, and when there's not a lot of people there to support, it kind of brings you down,
And we've had some really good crowds, and I'll tell you what our marketing department's doing. We've had a live DJ. We've had some really fun events going on at the game. So, and I always say just come to one volleyball game, and I promise you'll come back. Yeah. Like, it's action-packed. There's a point every time. Like, I always joke with the other coaches, like, God, I love to come and support y'all, but when I'm sitting there for 2 hours and it's 0-0, like...
See, like this last game football had against UIW was crazy. It was like 45.
Yeah, that score was huge. It was
it was high scoring. Usually some games like in football they're not that greatest. Yeah. Or soccer they're not the greatest. But volleyball, man, I'll tell you what. Me and my wife went to a game, courtesy of Sean, and we were we were partying.
Yeah,
it was
it's
awesome.
a fun environment.
It was super fun. I didn't think that my wife was gonna be so into it,
and she did. She loved
and
it.
She was like, "I want to come back. This is amazing." Just seeing those girls work, and obviously you sitting in my chair for the past 5 years.
It's been a while.
Like, and hearing it, I go through the season with you, all the ups and downs, COVID, like I could spab it all, and every time you guys come in here and stress out, I stress out. And then people even ask me, like, why are you stressed out? And I'm like, man,
we're like, because the volleyball team lost this week.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. We have a really good team, and you know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
I go through the ups and downs with y'all, and hearing this that people are coming out to support is amazing.
No, it's huge. And I hope in turn we're helping you a little bit. And again, give you the quick shout out of, like I said, you've been cutting mine and my son's hair forever, and we've talked about like this moment happening, you know, like owning your own shop, having your podcast, and doing all that. And so it is truly an honor to be sitting here and just watch all your dreams come true. And I'm very proud of you, sir.
Thank you. And I'm proud of what you have accomplished during the years, because I started cutting you as an assistant coach.
Yeah.
And then when that jump finally happened, and then I
had to text you and be like, I'm on TV today. I need my haircut. I have an interview today. I need you to shave me.
The craziest part for me was I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I was just like, holy crap, he got the role, right? And then I used to drive from Austin to San Marcos to work, and I remember passing the avenues, and they have that big old billboard there, and it was you with a nice haircut,
looking fresh
as always, and it said the new era, and I was just like, yo,
that's what we're doing, the new era.
We're doing
I'm the head coach. You got your own place, podcast,
and this was coming into fruition for a long time, and it finally came through. Your dreams came true, and we're
all here in good old San Marcos.
Yeah, we're rolling. You know,
absolutely.
And so the UIL rule applies for the girls as well, right? So for any of you small businesses that want to sponsor these girls with free eats or whatever y'all want, just so they can, you know, market
the NIL, y'all, they can market and do all that.
For the UIL, they can market that for y'all. You know, give the girls a free food, whatever y'all can to support these girls to motivate them to play better. For us, that's what we're trying to do here with this podcast, is uplift everybody that comes through here and all our friends and family that we can support. You know, he's family, so the girls are our family as well. So anything that we can do to kind of, you know, boost everybody up, you know, that's what I want to do here. And like I said, if you guys out there, if you guys see these small businesses in San Marcos, if you see this and you want to sponsor some of these girls, hit me up on Instagram, Razor and Whiskey, and we'll talk more about sponsorships and what girls are what. And I can also get with Sean, and we can get something rolling. You know?
They're allowed to do that now, making money. And some of them are making money. Some of them are doing some of the, you know, just getting product and things like that. But they have to take it all through our compliance. But it's a great way. You know, your favorite player, Janelle, is hitting it and getting a lot of stuff. She has her own shirts, her own merchandise out right now. So
that's awesome.
It's so fun to watch some of it
just like I was telling, you know, Brady, quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
I started cutting him probably like 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. And he's such a good kid.
Kid, humble as hell.
Yep.
And we were talking about it, and I was telling him to get what he's worth. You know, with the UIL rule, get what you're worth.
Yeah.
As all the players that that come through here, I tell them, and I'm telling them right now, if you need help, let me know, because you got 2 years left, a year left, whatever it is. Be comfortable. You know, these businesses want your business, and like Jay-Z says, I'm not a businessman. I am a businessman. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You guys are businessmen. So run yourselves like a business. Like I said, get where you're worth. Go out there and kind of exploit yourself, and you know, ball it up here in San Marcos, and you know.
Yeah, no, I mean,
live it up. You know, you can.
I think it's awesome for our athletes. I think it's awesome for the community.
Yeah.
And I just think that helps everything. It helps them get behind us. Show support for us as our athletes are promoting them. But I just say all the time, like, we need San Marcos.
Yes.
And we need the community behind us. We need that. And win, lose, yes, we all want to win, but we're all in this together, and we work really hard to try to put a product out there that y'all will be proud of, and our kids work really hard every day. And so we need the community support, and we're feeling it awesome in volleyball. We always can have extra people in the crowd, but there's anything we can do to help, I say reach out to us, because, just in the last week, my son started kindergarten, and their school was like, they have all this COVID stuff, and then the principal reached out and was like, oh, we'd love to have some, girls come and read to our kindergarten people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I didn't think that was going to happen with COVID, but they can get special stuff. But we love being in the community. We love reaching out and trying to help in any way we can too. So please feel free to reach out to me with any help y'all might need.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. Like this is why I got a barbershop, to be a community barbershop, to help everybody in this community grow. We're all growing together, and it's growing pretty fast. So let's all get together and boost up our businesses. Like you were saying, my kids started school too.
Yeah.
And every time I drop them off in line, they're like, "Oh my God, this kid, he gets a haircut every Friday."
Yeah.
And so
I need to get my son on that.
Declan
actually said to me the other day, I picked something out of his hair, and he's like, "Am I going to see Mr. Erick soon?" I was like, "You do need a haircut." I was like, "I need to just schedule it out," but life is busy.
It's so funny, because one of the teachers came up to me and was like, "Hey, I've been seeing that some of these little boys come in and they don't have haircuts or whatever."
Yeah.
And they're like, maybe you could do something. I'm like, yes, let's
absolutely.
do it.
That'd be so fun.
There's eight little boys in his class, and I'm like, those are his little friends, and shoot, I would love to give out free haircuts for them, So
that's awesome.
Whatever we could do to help the community, let's get together and let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Sean. I really appreciate you coming by tonight. I know we have lives outside of this, and this is a new project that I wanted to start.
I think it's awesome,
and rightfully so. This was the podcast to make as my second one. We waited quite a while because I didn't want to interrupt your schedule, but I always grateful.
Got time for you.
I am so grateful that you came and you did this. You kind of set some time away, but you're here, and
I like I said, I appreciate you. It's been so awesome. Like when I first sat in that chair and we talked about all these things that were going to happen, and it's now happening, and so it's been awesome to see. And don't judge by my my beard and wearing a hat tonight, only because it's been a long day, long weekend. I had a quick trip home for my sister's wedding, and so I literally was in Ohio for 17 hours. But you get the best service here. It's an experience. It's not just a haircut or a shave or what are you doing. Like it's an experience.
Really
Keith and I talk about that all the time. Jake and I talk about that all the time. Like this isn't just coming here to get your hair cut and go. Like you're connected to the place, and what you guys have done here has been awesome. So kudos to y'all.
That is really good to hear. I'm more than honored to be cutting your hair. And like I said, this podcast was the one to make. And I was telling the guys, the camera crew, shout out to Mike, shout out to Alfredo. For being patient with me. They've been saying, when are we going to shoot? And I'm like, this has to be the one, because you've been one of my longest clients. And like I said, your journey has been amazing. We've grown together. And to support you and to be one of my biggest names, one of my first biggest names on the podcast was an honor for me.
I appreciate that. It's very humbling. So
yes,
thank
sir.
you.
And whatever we can do to help the community, like I said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys need help out there and you guys need us to help you guys grow, any small business, Razor and Whiskey, Texas State volleyball, I'm sure Texas State football, the whole community, we need to get together and uplift each other, and let's grow together. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate the guys and the people that are watching and support us week to week. But from this week on, we are going to be recording more, and we're going to be dropping every Monday and filming every Monday. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Razor and Whiskey Podcast. We're out.
Out. Another toast.
That was dope.
That was good. That was smooth.
Yeah.
Woo!
Everything was smooth.
Dude, you're going to have to...
Bitch, make sure the record button is hit on.